This is very basic algebra that you really should be able to do on your scratch paper, and I recommend use the scratch paper. Maybe some of you can do this in your head, but it doesn't take more than a second to write this out on scratch and do it by hand. I will also show you a way to use the calculator to do this, but I don't think it's efficient here. I just think it's efficient for other situations. So actually, I'm kind of jumping ahead here. The first thing I would do is actually combine like terms. 8x minus 7x is just x. Then when I add or subtract the 130 from both sides, I'm basically done. So I could use the calculator here, but I do know that 130 from 260 is 130. So that's it. They wanted the value of x. Now double check, because sometimes they want to know what is the value of 2x, right? They ask for weird things. So we got to make sure we're giving them what they want, but there it is. 130 is the answer. So the way to use the calculator to do this is basically if you were to put any equation into Desmos, it's going to graph it for you. And it's going to graph the simplified version of that equation. So if I put this complicated version in, it knows to graph it as a line. Now the one thing here is we don't see anything when we type it because remember, it's a very big number. So there it is, 130. So what happened here? Basically, this equation, since it only has x's, the Desmos calculator solves it for us. But when it graphs the answer, this x equals 130, remember, it's a graphing calculator, so it doesn't think of that as like an answer. It thinks of that as an instruction, something for it to graph. And x equals 130 is a vertical line that goes right up and down where x is 130. So it's going to graph it for us. But I don't really care about the graph. I care about the number. And so you can just tap it where it hits the x-axis and it'll show you what the value is. And that is the solution to the equation. So like I said, this is basic algebra. You need to know how to do this for the PSAT, for the SAT, for basic high school math, but Desmos is going to be able to solve some of this stuff for you. And when the algebra gets more complex, then we're going to defer to Desmos so that we don't make careless mistakes. So just know that it does this and you'll be better off for when the stuff gets really hard.